What's going on, guys? J-Dogging here with J-Dog the Gaming Snob. This is my new YouTube video channel. I'm going to be talking about most of the popular games nowadays and some maybe kind of hidden in the rough, either completely praising them, say, hey, play this game, or, maybe you should not buy this game. But that's what I'm here for. I'm going to voice my opinion, tell you what it is that the game is really about, and hopefully this also changes the gaming industry, how games are made. Hopefully some developer will stumble across these videos and be like, oh, hey, that would be a great idea, maybe we can implement that, or maybe we should take that out because apparently nobody likes it. But of course none of that's going to be possible without your guys' comments and feedback at the bottom. So let me know how I did. I'm going to be voicing my opinion. Please voice your opinion. No fighting, please. I mean, we're all civilized here. We could all have discussions about what's good and what's not and why. So please keep it civil, but don't hesitate to put your feedback and comments below, and give this a little like button. Hey gamers, what's going on? It's your boy J-Doggin with my first Gaming Snob video. We're about to get into Destiny 2 today and talk about all the whack stuff that's been going on with it, weighing the pros and cons about everything today. Of course, as previously said, these videos will be fueled by your guys' comments and opinions, so don't forget to leave them down below with a like and subscribe. But anyways, going into it, again, we'll be going into the pros and cons today about the story, the strikes, the raid, the PvP. We'll be touching on just gameplay in general, and then hopefully ending off with a final opinion. So let's get into it. We're going to start it out right. I, of course, wanted to start off with the storyline of Destiny 2. And how much better it is than the D1 storyline. I am so happy you guys took this approach. It's a lot easier to follow. It's a lot more engaging. The cutscenes are absolutely fantastic, and I just can't fathom why they couldn't do this in Destiny 1. What was missing, and why did they have to rush it to where Destiny 2 actually has a storyline where Destiny 1 just didn't. Yeah, it just didn't. And of course, for those who played will know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, if you haven't played it before, I do not encourage you to waste your time on that. It's nothing special. Literally, Destiny 1 storyline starts out with the speaker talking to you saying, I could tell you what happened, but I'm not. And that's the Destiny storyline in a nutshell. So Destiny 2, definitely a step above and beyond. Definitely, again, something to follow. You're fighting the big alien Cabal Gaul, and he's trying to go through the universe, take the light, destroy the sun, etc., etc., etc. Actually play the storyline, please. It's a good one, something they should have done previously, but unfortunately did it. So I don't really have any pros or cons about it. I guess the biggest pros would be just the cutscenes and how engaging it is. As for the cons, no, when it comes to the storyline, they finally made it solid. I don't have anything really terrible to say about the storyline. So let's jump into the next one. Jumping into the strikes, we can see that we have currently 6 strikes available for Destiny 2 right now. Is that too much or is that too little? It depends on how much you actually play the strikes. When it comes to the end game, you're going to be probably playing the strikes a lot after the initial missions. If at some point you will notice that they do get kind of tedious. There's not too much replayability. You don't get too much good gear at the end. You'll be lucky if you actually get a legendary from a chest. Other than that, you're just basically farming the Vanguard tokens in order to hopefully get a decent legendary from the tower. So it's not a bad system, but it's not a good system at the same time. Again, 6 strikes at the beginning of the game isn't too bad, but it does feel like the RNG kind of just cycles through the same 6 and you end up playing the same strike multiple times in a row before it actually changes. Maybe that's just me. I don't know if anybody else has experienced it, but it seems like the same levels rotate constantly. And again, since we're just talking about the strikes, I guess we'll touch on the Nightfall a little bit. Nightfall, I like what they did with it. It's a lot more challenging. Some of the timing constraints are kind of up in the air. You either like them or you don't. A lot of people honestly don't like them, but then again, if you have a solid group and they all know what they're doing, you're gonna knock it out before that timer runs out anyways. So I like what they did with it. They added a little more challenging aspects to it, but then again, unless you have that set team that you're running with, you're probably not going to have the best time in the Nightfall. Pros and cons about both of those. Pros with the strikes. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's where we kind of drop off. There's not too many pros to the strikes. It's more of just if you got your friends together and you want to try to grind tokens in order to attempt to get better gear from the tower, then strikes is the way to go. But other than that, I don't really feel like strikes is as rewarding as it was in D1. Nightfall is a little more rewarding, but the biggest con of the strikes, I will have to say, is where's our heroic strike mode? Like, why do we not have a heroic strike mode? It just seems like something that should not have gotten taken out. I understand that there's the Nightfall and everything, and the game's going a little more casual and all that, but honestly, the heroic strikes is what really kept me into D1, and I'm really disappointed that they didn't put it in this one. So that's my hop, skip, and a joy away from what's going on with the strikes. Let's jump into the next one. Number 3, the raid. Definitely something that's very fun, very enjoyable if you have a group. You absolutely need a good group that knows what they're doing in order to complete this raid. One person messes up, the whole raid could be lost, and it's hard to recover from that, especially if somebody dies, somebody doesn't know a rotation. It's very mechanically based, but it is very rewarding. So if you do get past the raid, it's very fun, very engaging. There's minimal glitches anymore, which is absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys for staying on top of that. And it's just a great experience. One of the best experiences to level up, in my opinion. especially again if you have enough people. If you don't, though, looking for group, Raid Finder is absolutely fantastic. There's some good people in there that will, just help you run the raid, even if you haven't ran it before. Some people will be teachers. Again, that goes in tandem with the guided games as well, which we'll touch on at the end of the gameplay section. But the raid, nothing really bad to say about it. Again, they're fixing the glitches. Very, very good. I can't wait for the next one. Hopefully one comes out with the next DLC, but all we can do is keep our fingers crossed. Jumping into the PvP section, unfortunately we had to cut this down due to time restraints, but let's get into the skinny of it. PvP is definitely a new aspect. I like it a lot better than D1. It did take a while to get used to the whole shotguns and snipers aren't secondaries anymore thing, but I think it does add a little balance to the game in terms of how powerful the weapons are, and how often people are going to be able to use them, because it does bring again a whole aspect of balance to it when it comes to whether you play PvP a lot or whether you play PvP a little. Again, that also ties into the matchmaking system that they have. I haven't really had any problems with it, but I would like to know how you guys are faring with the matchmaking system, both quick play and competitive. Trials of the Nine, definitely one of the more competitive aspects. I like the way they went with it. The first map was amazing. The new rotations, I could kind of live without, but again, that's just me. So we're gonna quickly jump into the gameplay of it, and then hopefully we're gonna be able to wrap everything up pretty much in this section right here. The gameplay overall, honestly, I mean, I'm still playing Destiny 2 to this day. Out of all the bad things that I've ever said about Destiny and all the glitches I've seen and all of the troubles I've had, I'm still playing it to this day. Granted, not as much, not as hardcore, but I am still playing it. As long as I have a friend or somebody else to do a social activity with, I will still play Destiny. So again, aside from all the bad things that you've ever heard about Destiny, if you have somebody to play with and they're willing to put the time in as much as you put the time in, then it's definitely going to be a fun experience. You guys can level together, you can do strikes together, you can look for a raid group together. Again, coming back from the strike section where we're going to talk about the guided games, that's a new thing. You can join up actually in-game matchmaking, and you can get a raid clan or a raid team going, and hopefully that raid team is going to help you basically gain knowledge about the raid to complete it in the future. If not, there's always looking for group on the Destiny app. There's a lot of good people there. They'll also teach you the things you need to know. And overall, Destiny is really it's a game you can't put down, despite its small little tiny flaws here and there. I do I can't say I really appreciate how they went towards the more casual aspect of gaming. Maybe it's just me, but I've heard it multiple times from multiple people. It just seems a lot more casual, and that stems from the fact of you get pretty much the best gun in the game just by completing a side mission. Like, it's not that hard to get. Um, there's no heroic strikes anymore. That just seems like something that should have just stayed put and not been touched. Um, it's definitely, I don't know. I'd say the PvP, it's a lot more competitive, but I do hear people complaining about that they do want 6v6 to be coming back. Whether or not that includes that they want the vehicles and everything to come back is kind of up in the air. But in the aspects of a whole casual gaming experience, I think they left the hardcore aspect in PvP with 4v4, and I greatly appreciate that. Um, it's a lot more engaging and a lot more fun to play in a 4v4 environment than it is having 6 people and trying to get them all on the same page, basically. Um, but final opinion, I think the storyline was great, better than the first. Social interaction, the social experience of Destiny has always been phenomenal. If you have friends to play with you, this will be a game that you're going to be playing for a long amount of time. The milestones are rewarding. The raid is absolutely fantastic when you're not running into the small glitches. Um, Dogs, I'm looking at you. Cough, cough. But getting into the cons, no bounty system anymore, which is kind of 50-50. Um, you know, if you play a lot and you get your milestones done, you really crave that bounty system back, and you really want something else to do on top of it. But then again, if you're geared towards the casual players, where maybe they play only like 2 or 3 times a week and they don't get their milestones done for a whole week, then it's good for you. The milestones again are really rewarding. They'll get you the gear you want. um but again, it's just there's not much to do after you get those milestones, so it's a little detrimental. um Another aspect that I haven't really touched on yet is there's absolutely, it seems like there's zero exploration. And let me clarify that a bit. I don't mean map exploration. I mean back in D1 where you used to be able to walk around and find these hidden ghosts and get these Grimmer cards, and nothing was handed out to you. And here we are in Destiny 2. Oh, here's a list of K chests, and let me just put them on the map for you. And here's some region chests that you can just find, but here's every single place they are on the map. And it's just like it's like where's the challenge to finding that stuff anymore? It's really not. It's basically just like, oh hey, I'm at the dot on the map, but I have to look around to find it and platform a little bit. Like that's not really fun. Like it was fun to find the locations of the ghosts, get every single Grimoire card and just kind of build up from there. So taking that aspect away kind of hurt in my opinion. But again, I want to know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. I think I'm pretty much hit everything. My mind's been racing all day. I'm pretty sure I forgot a lot. I'll probably follow up with a second video on stuff that I did forget, because it yeah, I'm sure I forgot a lot, guys. But either way, please leave your comments and opinions below. We'll talk about them. I'll also leave the Discord link down at the bottom in the description. We can talk about it live, and we can gear up for our next conversation. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back.